everyone, it's Ali. Just wanted to talk stamp positioners today, and something that I've recently purchased, or the two that I have, and an idea for the new one that I have, the We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press. So I'll talk a little bit about the Misty, which is the first stamp positioner that I bought, or the Mini Misty. This is actually the Mini Misty, and I really love this tool. It's really been great for my stamping, and I've had so much more success with my stamping with this tool. And I recently purchased a better magnet for, well, what I consider a better magnet for the Mini Misty, this bar magnet, and I got that from Simon Says Stamp, because the original magnets that come with the Misty, these two, often found that they clashed together and then got stuck together, and you can't it's difficult to get them apart when they sit like that. And it just was a little bit annoying for me to have two on the page. So I just find that having the one bar magnet is a lot better for me with the Mini Misty. The Mini Misty, as I said, has been great and I love it, but the only thing that I didn't like about it is that I was restricted to the size of the base for the Mini Misty. So you can only really use a card size that fits into that area. You can hang the card over the side, but I found that if you had a stamp that was fairly close to the edge, it would end up smudging and things like that. So it's not ideal having to hang it over that ridge there. So yeah, that was the only thing, is that I couldn't sort of stamp off the page with some stamps or around the edges because there's no space there to do stamping. You sort of have to stamp directly onto the paper. So I was looking around for another option. The obvious option was to go for the bigger Misty, the A4 size Misty, and I would love that, but it's just price-wise is a little bit out of my price range. Over here in Australia, I think the Mini Misty is about $60, 60 Australian dollars, and the larger A4 Misty is into the $130 mark. So that is a little bit in the higher price range for me than I would like. So that wasn't really an option. I had seen the Tim Holtz, the Tonic Studios platform, which had been recently brought out at the Creativations sort of seminar, and that looked really great. So I had my eye on perhaps getting one of those Tonic Studios stamping platforms. But recently they've had to pull that, and I've also started to pull some other alternatives from the shelves because the owner of the Misty, My Sweet Petunia, has recently won I think it's like a patent court case or something like that over a few other companies, so that they're not able to reproduce this style of stamp positioner. So unfortunately I think our options are going to get a little bit more limited in terms of other alternatives that are a little bit cheaper than the Misty. But recently I just saw it in a catalogue of Spotlight, which is a local, or a store here in Australia that's sort of like a craft homewares, bedding, kind of like a store that sells a whole heap of different things. And Spotlight had advertised the We Are Memory Keepers Precision Press. And the thing about this one is that two of the sides are open. So that means that you can have a bigger piece of paper in there, and it can hang over an edge, and you can still stamp really easily if the paper's larger. And also you can position it in the middle, or so that you can do off the card stamping, so you could position it there and stamp on the side of that piece as well. So this looked really good, and I went and grabbed one. It was only $29.95. It was on special, which was another bonus because the price point's really, really good. The only thing with the Precision Press is that it doesn't have magnetic base. So your paper really is just meant to sit in there, but it can sort of move around. It is a little bit soft on that base plate, so it does grip the paper a little bit, but obviously if you move it around, the paper will sort of fall out a little bit. So I was trying to think of how I could make this magnetic. On YouTube I have seen that some people have bought tiny little round magnets and glued them into the little holes in the base of the precision press and done that all over the base. But again, I couldn't find magnets small enough here. I live in a fairly small town, so there wasn't a lot of options for me. And also the amount that you would need is quite a few, so that again wasn't really an option. But then I thought, well, can I use my old magnets from my mini MISTI on the precision press? And I wondered if they were strong enough to actually magnetize through the base plate. And what I discovered is that they are. So if you have one magnet on top and then place the other magnet just on your table or your bench, and then place that on top, then they automatically click together and find each other. So this was really good. The only thing was that when I obviously put that magnet on the base, it made the base wobble because it was uneven. And so I decided just to put 5 little pads, like furniture pads on the bottom, stick those to the corners and one in the middle so that it stayed flat. And then it wouldn't actually wobble around when I had the magnet underneath. So that seems to work quite well. Obviously when you take the top magnet off, the bottom magnet just falls onto the table, but it doesn't really matter because it picks it up again quite easily. And you can actually move it around a little bit by moving the top magnet, but obviously if you just need to reposition it, you just take it off, move the base and click it on again. And what it does is just picks it up automatically. So that's really quite handy, and it means that your paper won't fall off or really shift when you're stamping. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that solution, and it's probably the cheapest option for me in terms of trying to make this into something with a magnetic feature. So I hope you found that tip helpful, and happy stamping. Thanks for watching. Bye.